Go live, Negro. Um, we're live. We've been documenting our 1 hour conversations. Two strangers from a couple thousand miles away, never met each other for the past 6 years. It's interesting. I think I'll have to build another app.
Why? What do you mean?
Um, so the short answer is just like building software started from scratch. Like if you're a complete virgin and you know absolutely nothing, then you really have to learn like the entire ecosystem or a flavor of an ecosystem in order to actually deliver something of use. Um, and I find that it's the same paradigm for like filming or production filming. Specifically, like equipment, setting up the equipment, configuring the equipment, the styles that tend to maximize a consumer's experience, all this stuff. Like, I think it's impossible for someone that's not seasoned to cognitively load everything into their head, so that when they're at a client site, it's clockwork, and they record without any huge blemishes or issues, and then they could deliver. So, make a long story short, here's a prime example. You go to a client site and you forget that your memory card's not in your camera. I'm sure it happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
You go to a client site and you forget to bring your 18% gray card for setting your exposure, or you forget your white card or whatever. You forget to configure your camera for a cinematic look and feel based on setting the shutter speed and aperture based on what the client wants. And they may not want cinematic, but there's so many things that you have to like be aware of and basically have to go through a checklist of your color matching. I think I kind of mentioned on it. Your audio levels. Make sure you're not clipping based on what you think may be the highest levels of audio. And then like just that's the basis of it. And for me, it's like obviously I probably won't go on site to actually do something that's paid probably for like another 9 months because I don't know anything. That there has to be people like me that are overwhelmed and are sure to forget probably 25% of things that they're supposed to do before they start filming. And I can't keep track of it. So there's like pre-production, production, post-production. There's when you're at home, you need to more than likely stage all your equipment, your gimbal, your primary camera, probably your backup camera, your lights. What else? Your backup memory cards, all this stuff, and I'm sure your power sources, all this stuff you probably need to stage and make sure that you don't leave anything once you get to the client site. Once you're at the client site, you have to assemble everything, your equipment. Once your equipment's assembled, you probably need to configure your equipment, such as your lighting solution. I know I'm putting you to sleep.
No, I'm just
your camera settings, Like all this stuff is really complicated to stay on top of. Just like a pilot, whether it's private or commercial, you need different phases. You need a checklist for each phase of the work that you're going to deliver or the work that you're going to do. And there's no way I could do all of this and with low risk and deliver something satisfactory, because it's too easy to miss something. It's too easy to forget a setting. Like the gimbals have settings, the camera has settings, the lighting solutions have settings. Everything has settings. In addition to not forgetting something at home, and now you're compromised, and now you look bad in front of the client, and time is money, and you want to get referrals, so you want to be on point. I think I have to build an app to keep track of all of this.
I don't think you do. I'm guessing that there's a million checklist apps out there, or you can literally just use a spreadsheet. Like when I go to the Boundary Waters, like I have a checklist, and there's a lot of that I could easily forget, and it's just in Google Sheets, and I just go through one by one and make sure I do every step in it, or put everything into one place, and I've got it for sure before I go. So I've never forgotten anything, I don't think.
Does that checklist include links to web pages or video clips that provide more context on how to configure something?
No, but I think maybe you're jumping the gun. Like you're trying to go from zero to hero, and you need to be a sidekick first and a apprentice and all that kind of stuff. Like I think once you do it, you can compartmentalize it, because you now, not forgetting equipment, that's solvable by a quick checklist, but the actual steps that you take, if you've practiced something long enough, you just know what they mean. So you just need to get practice in each one of the steps. But yeah, a checklist could easily cover what do I need to do now and what did I need to bring, and make sure that you generally don't forget stuff.
Yeah, and when you get ready to leave the site, you need to have a checklist of what you should have in your inventory, so that you don't inadvertently leave something there.
Sure. But
So
I think maybe you're getting overwhelmed with it, because there is a lot to it.
I am.
And you're trying to like lean back on what's comfortable, which is something I do too. It's
Hey, Gambler.
When I was trying that box thing, it was okay, I gotta get this figured out, and then it was like, okay, now I need a website. Like I need to build this out so I can do all of this stuff, rather than just doing it like low fidelity first, which is like I could have literally just had a sheet of paper that people fill out, or a single page form. I didn't need an interactive form. I didn't even need checkout. I could have just accepted Venmo or PayPal. So it was just an excuse to stay in my comfort zone. But yeah, I think maybe you need to, if you are feeling overwhelmed, I think maybe you need to zero in on one thing and just go and try stuff, and get out of the experience of I need to go and learn everything I can first. So that's my analysis of the situation here.
Well, that's fair. I'm trying to think, based on what you said, if I had like an Excel spreadsheet or a Google spreadsheet. I don't know what Google has.
Google Sheets is great if you haven't used. I mean, it's not as good as Excel for some things, but for general, just easy spreadsheets, it's super easy.
Yeah. So the reason why I don't think a spreadsheet is going to work for me, and I think that it probably requires a mobile experience, and that mobile experience doesn't have to be a mobile phone app, because I think apps for smart glasses are going to start revealing themselves probably in another 12 months. So whichever form factor. there's one thing to have a checklist for staging your equipment before you load it into your car or truck. It's another thing for half of those items that are that serve as solutions. Hence, like this gimbal is a solution. It integrates with like
Mhm.
five other things. This camera is a solution. It integrates with five other things. Um, there's also a checklist for that to make sure that you have specific settings for the specific type of work that you're going to do. So am I going to have a dozen tabs that I go through on my spreadsheet? Am I just going to have 10 different Excel files or spreadsheet files with 3 or 4 tabs apiece? I don't think that's the most optimal. I think I understand and appreciate what you're saying. Try to keep it simple until you find a reason to expand. I'm saying up front in my mind, I'm going through the user experience in my mind, and I don't want to juggle 12 or more different spreadsheets and have to
Yeah,
serve.
well, a spreadsheet's an easy one, but I mean, there's got to be plenty of checklist apps out there that do exactly this. Like, I need a procedure, like I need an exact procedure um, that's checkable, that has a mobile experience, and it's just literally you fill out your procedure, and then you have check, 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 and maybe there's even like contingency, like branching that you can do in case something goes wrong.
Yeah,
Something like that.
uh, I basically need a checklist that's I basically need a checklist for each type of equipment slash activity to be performed. Let's say a profile. I'm not sure if that's the right term. Um, for, for each activity or equipment, I need a checklist, and I would also like to have details for each of the checklist items. I mean, I'd like to have the option for annotating any of those checkbox items with links to web pages or videos.
Yeah, like I said, I would
I
I would
can't load
start
all this
by
in my mind.
I would start by searching for something though. I mean, because I think it exists. There's probably no need to build. I mean, it might be fun to build it if
That's,
that's what you want
well,
to do, but
I don't have time to build it and still learn all this crap.
yeah.
I almost bought a lighting kit yesterday.
A what? Oh, a lighting
I
kit.
Yeah, I, I still got my I still got my what do you call it? A what do you call it? What am I looking at?
Have you not opened your MacBook
I
yet?
No, I haven't opened up my MacBook. I haven't opened up this backup 2 terabyte card. I haven't opened up this microphone arm. I haven't I haven't opened up this studio microphone that I hadn't even taken out the mailing package.
Jeez.
I like to buy stuff and not open it and still leave it in the packaging, like the mail packaging.
Hmm. That's like what ladies do when they order off of Amazon.
So, uh, I ordered a $1,200 memory card. That's 4 terabytes. The CFB Express. Yeah, man, I make it rain on Amazon. Just make it rain.
Hmm.
I'm going to. So you know what's fun for me? I have fun domain modeling. I'll domain model it. That's fair. But then the actual like UX layer, that stuff is not fun.
Yeah. I know that's sorry. The domain modeling part, I think, is the most fun part of software engineering. I don't know if everyone feels that way. I think that they do, but I mean, yeah, the execution part's quite annoying sometimes.
I still laugh at people that do OOP design off of like literal like nouns of like, okay, so
Oh, noun verb analysis, like.
yeah, pretty much. And they look at me like I'm crazy. I am, but I still laugh at them.
Yeah, because you model actions basically, or something like that, or
Yeah, I choose the term operations or rules.
operations. Yeah,
Rules.
rules. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's I mean, I still gravitate towards an entity first mindset, but it's something I'm slowly breaking myself of because I just
Uh,
like why
a
do I
what? A what
like
first mindset?
like an entity first,
Oh,
like
okay.
a thinking about like, oh,
The database.
I need a product, I need a order, I need a this and this, something that represents those things, which I think is useful to an extent, but it's like a lot of that stuff is just now I'm realizing is it's just modeled. Like I try to think now about things in terms of like as if there's this physical department or like there's this physical office and you have people in the office that are doing work and they have to collaborate together in order to accomplish some task. So it's like rather than thinking about it in an automated fashion, I think about it as a completely manual, I guess.
You think about you think about orchestration.
Yeah, and then I think about like people and like what is an order in that world? It's like it's literally a sheet of it's not that important. It's literally a sheet of paper that someone writes down what you want on it and it's an artifact and then it gets passed around to certain people to do things and I don't know. I just like I think about
Yeah, I
this in
don't.
terms of like of I actually think about like the guy at the front window takes in this thing and then he pulls out his other form. He takes the raw intake form, pulls out the other form, and fills out the details in a clean manner, and then passes it off to blah, or like puts it in the mail cart. Like, does he physically have to hand it off like a synchronous thing? Is there a reason to do that, or should it go in the mail cart and then get brought to someone? Yeah. Or should it
Yeah,
go out as a memo, photocopied, and then go out as a memo, which is PubSub, like, I don't know. Yeah, anyways.
I don't think about it at all like that.
Yeah.
At all. Like we think about it very differently. Because it sounds like you think about it from like a DDD or domain driven design perspective. Would that be fair?
Probably. I don't know if I've ever actually said. I've heard the concepts from the DDD book enough,
Yeah.
but I've never actually read it. So I just assume that I'm thinking about it that way.
Yeah.
But
Go ahead.
But yeah, it comes down to the very nature of like what we do. We're not building software. We're automating something that's manual, like always. And I try to think about it that way always. For business software generally, it's a communications network, and we're trying to automate people's jobs that would be in this that would have to be a manual thing if we didn't have computers, and we model the pieces of data that they move around the actual office on pieces of paper. And like, what do those forms, those literal pieces of data that they have look like? And
Yeah,
what
I
do
don't
the
think
reports that they would generate look like? So,
I don't. Yeah, I have a different perspective on that. I don't think we model, or maybe we're just talking about the same thing but in different ways.
yeah. Well,
Is
it's all
that a
mental models.
plane?
Hmm?
Is
Oh,
that a plane in
yeah.
the background?
I don't think so, unless maybe my daughter's listening to something really loud.
So my perspective, I think, is pretty simple. is what's the input, what's the desired output. That's it. and yeah.
But I'm listening to you.
And so I think when I went through the journey of like functional programming, that really changed the way I thought about attacking problems. Is like, all right, if you're building a typical line of business app, and like it's something about a order coming in, and as a consequence of a request coming in for an order, there's some product that needs to go out, and then there's some billing that needs to be recorded. I just say, all right, input is an order, output is one or more things. A product that's being shipped, but who cares? Or yeah, a shipping product. Let's call it a shipping product. That's for now, right? And some type of entry into our account ledger, right? So maybe I'll bundle that into the output, and then I'll just start dissecting it more and more, and then it starts growing and growing the model from there. That's I just what goes in, what comes out, and I just build from there.
Yeah, that's basically the same thing I do. It's the concept of a desk or a job, a person that or a set of people that would be doing a particular procedure or job, and maybe they've got multiple procedures they can do, but yeah, it's okay. I've received form 6710A, which is the order form or whatever like that. And so my job in the company, and I think about it that way, is to fill out the account record for how much it costs or whatever, and then send that to filing to go into records. And then it is to send another request to our inventory staff to tell them that we need to pull it, or that we need to deduct the inventory or whatever. And so you think about it in the slowest possible terms, representing like if humans were physically passing around pieces of paper, and every piece of paper is the data. Every person who receives a piece of paper that triggers work is a job or a function or a method or whatever. And then like you can think about certain things like mail carts as being or the mail system being the messaging system that we have in automated. It's just an automated part of a manual mail system. And so then you've got like inner office mail, and you've got outer office mail, and then you also have people who just work within such proximity to each other that can pass data without that kind of thing. So, but you think about seek times that way too, and things like that. So the model is really, it's like, well, if I had to do this in a manual fashion, how many places would I have to go to get the same piece of data? And so you start to cluster and say, well, how do you optimize the workforce in a manual way? And it probably is the same way as you optimize the workforce in an automated way. So I don't know. It's a weird mental model, but I've been like living with it for a few years, and I don't know. It seems to
and it works.
I think so. I
don't know. The question that I have, and again, you could tell me that I'm interpreting it wrong, is it still seems like you're identifying actors that participate in the model.
Yeah.
Would that be accurate?
Which is why I like actor models, or the actor model idea of it, I guess.
The only caveat that I have about that is, does it conflict with the lifetime of the projected lifetime of the system? And what I mean by that is, today we know who the actors are. And I'm going to butcher this, right? If we were programming prior to the early 1900s, when we would send a message, that message would have one of three actors. It would be a pigeon, a horse, or a human being that would take an envelope and deliver it to some other human being
Yeah.
in some destination, right? Those are the actors. And then if we keep to the early 1900s, within like, let's say 30 years, um, there's less horses or horse carriages. There's less pigeons, unless it's wartime. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's an urban myth, urban legend. But now there's like vehicles, like cars, automobiles, right? So the point that I'm trying to get to is I'm very conscientious when I am wearing the hat of an architect for whoever takes that risk with me. I I try very, very, very hard to abstract away as much as I can who the actors are, because during the lifetime of the system, I don't know if that lifetime is going to be 5 years. I don't know if that lifetime of the system is going to be 20 years. I would like to design it to be forever. I try really hard not to get locked in to a specific type of actor. So whether that actor is a human being, a pigeon, or a horse, to in 2025, that actor is another server. Like over time, things just change. So
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is there's abstractions within this where it's like the email system or whatever, or in your case, if you're doing some sort of external delivery, that'd be your like probably your email or API calls out. It's just a part of that thing, because obviously like if you just envision this as a big like factory setting box where you're building an organization that accomplishes some task, and there's going to be external inputs and outputs that you have to interact with, and one of those things is mail. Like, you don't care if it's a guy running or a horse going or Wells Fargo. Those are just optimizations on that function. The function's the same, right? And so it still sort of works. All I need to know is that I need to deliver this piece of mail to someone with an address, and that there's a service that does it, a physical service that does it, and then I just say, well, what would a physical service need to actually accomplish this? And then you put that into the data object that you're passing over the wire to whomever it goes to, and that wire just replaces someone physically running it, or someone on a horse doing it, or someone in a car driving it, or whatever. It's just we've gotten to the point where it's already automated, and we have a solution for it. It's email or an API call or whatever. And so a lot of it depends on, like, an API call would very much be a direct mail carrier between you and some other person, right? Or some other system. Intermail is within the system, but it's still that kind of same thing. You have services and departments within that organization that need to pass mail back and forth to each other. So you use message buses for that, but it's interdepartment mail is the abstraction. This falls apart with stuff like games, because I think that's a different like deal, or really UI heavy stuff like like an editor. But if you're building systems, like business systems, it's, if you just model it as a manual business system and then automate all of the pieces away, you can kind of play with the idea of like, how do these things interact with each other? These departments interact with each other beforehand, and think about the bottlenecks that would exist in real life. Those are most likely going to be your bottlenecks in the thing. It also, you can run the litmus test over it of like, does this belong with this department? Like, why is the department that handles order processing also handling like inventory, like updates or something like that, and then you go, well, this cohesive. Would I build an organization like this? Would I build one that the same one who processes an order is the one who assembles the shipping quote, for an order? Probably not. That kind of stuff. So it helps me when we, in lack of the fact that, like, if you don't have an actual physical business system of people that you're trying to model that's already set up this way, like a business, it works to just visualize it that way. I don't know. This is such an idea I've wanted to kind of like assemble down and give a name to, and build out an actual procedure for how you do it and stuff, but I've just never gotten there. Welcome to my TED Talk. So yeah, I don't know.
There you go.
Yeah. I finished.
I'm the opposite. I don't like to buy stuff, so even things I obviously need are delayed and delayed and delayed. After enough nagging by my wife and some more delay, I finally buy.
Yeah,
that was a reference to. Yeah.
I'm
trying to hold off until Black Friday. Here's the thing, Sean. Like, I don't know. I keep having midlife crises. Crisis. Is it crises? Crisis? Is crisis just plural?
Crises, right?
I'll work
if
with
it's
that.
Many crises or crisis, if it's a multiple, oh God, that's hard to think about.
It's kind of like octopuses. It's kind of like octopus. Like, I don't think octopus is a word.
Right?
I would say octopi.
Yeah, octopi. But then, like, if you have 8 segmented pie, what do you call that? just fucking. That was dumb. It's an octopi.
All right. Oh yeah. So, like, I'm trying to hold off till Black Friday to make way more acquisitions on stuff that I probably won't use for like another 6 months. One of which is the lightest, like lights, like kind of like studio lights. And I went from, oh man, I don't, $460 for this, small lighting package, and that's a lot of money. And then I'm working out last night on the beach, and all of a sudden I'm looking at a $1,400 solution, like that I don't have a case for really applying. It's just, I think the biggest thing with my personality is I want to buy something once and not have to upgrade after like 3 months. Like, I'd rather spend the money and it's good and stable for, like, let's say 5 years. In theory, 10 years, but whatever, 5 years, at least 5 years. I still want to be proud of having it, and it still serves its use, and it's not lacking.
I think you're right, Gambler.
What do you say?
Oh, he said plural building struggle. So you're saying we should program in Latin. I'll have to watch that YouTube video later, unless you want to pop it in now. But yeah, I know I can give you a job to and pay you $10 to go record a 1 minute scene for me.
Yeah. Okay. What's the
I've got well, I haven't. I have to write it. So I have to think about how it's going to take place in the sequence of things. But so my web series that's been all AI, right? I have this envisionment that at the end of Act 2, at the start of Act 3, that there's an actual scene that I record or run that's not AI generated, that is specifically just a video of I don't know if I would make it a streamer or someone basically just playing a game, maybe live streaming it. I don't know. But it's so the setup is in this web series. These guys are at the end of Act 1, they've decided they're going to try to so that they work in a level that never gets any play, and so they're going to try to go and attract this dungeon crawler speedrunner named Retro GigaChat 82 to go and they're going to try to attract him back to the game so that they can get his followers to play the game, and then they'll get, game play on their level. It's kind of convoluted, but I've got this envisionment that at the start of Act 3 that there is actually a in real life recording of somebody who plays this Retro GigaChat 82 and does a speed run on the dungeon, which isn't going to be very long. It's like a minute long, but he or she essentially just is playing the game, and I don't know. And there's this like documentary style to it, so you'd have to. I'd have to lay it all out. But
do you have so you haven't actually written it down yet?
No, I've got the rough outline for the entire season, but I found with AI, like there's a lot of serendipity with things that you generate. Like you might do something and then it sparks another idea. So I have a general outline for the entire season, except for some of the middle part I have to figure out yet. I know where it's going to end, and I have the beginning done. I finished the full Act 1 last night, so I've got 7 episodes now, and it completes the full Act 1. So I've got to basically bridge to Act 2, and then I've got Act 3 sort of roughed out. But basically, every time I sit down to do a video, I just say, well, this is what this video needs to accomplish next to do it, and then I just figure out what that's going to look like. So last night, for instance, the episode was, well, I know that I want to get down what their plan is to end out Act 1. So like the actual show starts with the inciting incident, which is he gets promoted to dungeon boss. And then there's he goes and you meet the team. So there's basically some setup. And then that you learn about one particular character, Egg. So there's a little more setup. And then there's the rejection of the call, which is in like the hero's journey, where he's like, he realizes the dungeon gets no play. And so he wants to go get his old job back. But then he says no. So he's like dejected or rejected from doing that. So now he's got to figure out what he's going to do. And so he decides to accept it and just go, and he brainstorms with his team, like, how can we actually get adventures? Because that's the problem is he's like, I got promoted to a boss of a level that gets no adventure play. And so now they come up with 2 plans. One of them is they're going to send these 2 characters off to go to the main levels to try to convince monsters to give hints about the level to see if they could get adventurers to come in through that avenue. And that sets up a subplot for these 2 characters who are Mira and Charlie. And they are going to have kind of a romance that arc where they go off on this adventure to go do this, and then they're going to be met with I might as well just give you the whole plot right now. they get met with like, I think what will happen is that they'll meet different monsters and have interactions where like one of the monsters hits on one of them or on the other one, or one's really attractive and the other one gets jealous, and eventually they end up in a good spot over the course of it. So I've got this idea of one of the characters that I'm going to bring in who's going to be named Cheese, and she's going to be probably an attractive woman. Yeah, or she might be Cheese is a terrible name for an attractive woman, but she's going to be one of the characters probably, and she might be a stress on this budding relationship between the 2 of them, because she's, Mira's, who's this ghost, is probably going to be very insecure about it or something like that. I don't know. I've got to figure out. And these are the things that I figure out those details as I go. I just figure out the rough outlines. So then the other arc is that these guys are going to go and try to figure out how to kill this guy named Reginald, who's a rat, who's a monster in their level, who's actually the ultimate boss of the game. He's the strongest character in the game. He's basically undefeatable by any weapon. And so they're trying to go figure out, well, how does this guy, is he actually unbeatable? How do we actually kill him so that they can feed? It would make more sense if we just watched it, but if they feed if they feed the answer to how to kill the rat to this retro Giga Chad 82, he might come play the game and then bring his follower of speedrun dungeon crawler people to the game. So, anyways, yeah, it's
seems like a lot.
But I've got two clear lines, or I've got the main arc, which is with Lord Melvron. He's the main character. And then I've got a side arc with these other two characters. And so it's I don't know, it's all coming together. It's strangely very easily. I wish the audio and stuff generation was a little better. It doesn't sound bad on a mobile phone, but when you're listening on headphones, it sounds awful.
Really?
Yeah. If you were to listen to the thing, you'd be like, this is shit. But then if you watch it on YouTube on your phone, it's not bad at all. So, but anyways, I've done some cool stuff. Like I made an extra for one of them. As kind of it was a little side joke off of one of the episodes. And then now that I'm done with Act 1, I'm actually going to do an Act 1 recap, and that's what I'm going to publish to YouTube Shorts. I'm going to publish it as a recap on YouTube, but then I'm going to also republish it as a YouTube short as kind of like an advertisement, because I realized my original idea for publishing these YouTube Shorts is stupid, because it's a story-driven episodic content. And so, like, if you're gonna watch any of them on your phone, you're not gonna have any context as to what is going on. If you watch any particular episode, you have to watch from the beginning and work your way through. So it makes more sense to give large, like, preview recaps of a part of a season and put that on shorts, so you get a taste about what the show is about, and then that might drive people to actually go and watch the full thing. So I don't know. I'm learning a lot. It's fun. Getting better at.
Yeah. What's interesting is you have these actors that are human beings that don't exist in real life.
I know. And they all
That's
have
weird.
They all have sort of personalities and desires and stuff like that too. And it's weird because part of that is the AI just looking at the person and saying, "This is what this person probably sounds like."
I'm sorry that I'm taking it into a different direction now.
No, that's fine. I don't need to talk about it.
No. You remember the legal case that I brought up about pedophiles, and if now that you have AI generated humans, who is the victim?
Yeah. I don't know.
All right, go back. That should be a Law and Order episode, man. Really should.
Yeah. I don't know if is AI generated that stuff. Like technically, I guess it would be illegal. Well, so if you draw let's say you're a really good artist and you draw a naked kid and you're a pedophile, and you have that, is that?
Well, hold up.
What is that?
Hold up. Wait.
There's no victim. You're right.
Wait. Does drawing a naked child make you a pedophile?
Well, I'm saying if you are one and you do that. So
does drawing a naked child, period, make you a pedophile, regardless?
I think it depends. Like, what if you're drawing a cherub or something like that? I mean, you might have a naked kid that's part of a scene, or it's fine art or whatever. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, cherubs come across as kids, but they tend to be not clothed, except for maybe they might have a loincloth, right? So, but anyways, so getting back to it is like, there's this idea of this character named Retro Giga Chad 82, who's supposed to be this speedrunner for dungeon crawlers, and I'm trying to somehow have it where that is real life in this universe. Real life is real life in that universe, in this universe, and these AI generated people, they live in the computer, right? They live in their personifications of things that exist in the computer game. And like you can kind of get this because every character. So I don't know if Gambler, like, have you ever played like Rogue or console-based dungeon crawlers before?
No.
I think these kinds of games might be more popular in Europe.
You mean Zelda?
No. Like literally, it's so you have a map that's made in ASCII text, and you run a character around the map. So your character's always an @ symbol.
Oh, you mean Pac-Man?
No. Have you ever heard the term roguelike before?
Mm-mm.
So if you look up the original Rogue game, that's just slightly based on that. So, in roguelikes, like traditional roguelikes, dungeon crawlers, your character is represented by the @ symbol, and then you run around a procedurally generated level, killing monsters and collecting loot and stuff like that, and you go down levels to defeat some sort of boss and get an amulet at level 7, I think is in Rogue. And so each character is represented by a text character. So like your K might be a kestrel and your O might be an orc or whatever. And so I don't know how I got in this, but each character in the actual video has their character that would represent them in the game on their helmet. So like the orc is an O, the imp is an I, the ghost is a G, the the rat is an R, and then there's Egg, who's an E. And then Lord Melveron's an ampersand. And so like I could actually build this game theoretically. And yeah, anyways.
Was Oregon Trail like that?
No. Oregon Trail was more of like a set pictures with text. I think they had one scene where like you could, in some versions where you could like shoot deer. It was like a whatever, but yeah, if you looked up the game Rogue, the original Rogue, that's what it would be based on. I know I'm like not doing any justice at actually explaining what I need. I'm terrible at communication. I've decided this week that, that's my career limiting thing, is that I am not a great communicator of ideas. Like they come to, like my mind goes and drags off into various different edge cases and things where I don't think I'll ever be promoted above where I am right now. So
I think I got myself in trouble yesterday at a retrospective.
Oh, I've learned to just shut up and I've learned that retrospectives in my mind are like, it's the places where bad ideas with good intentions are born. Like I think 80 to 90% of the output of retrospectives is that it's, we've got this problem. Let's adopt this really bad idea with good intentions to solve it. And then you do it, and then it just makes everything harder.
So our retrospectives, I don't know why we have them, because I don't think we ever actually track a call to action and the progress. I don't think we do any of it. We just say we're agile and we just do it for ceremony, but I honestly don't believe that we care. Like I don't. So anyway, so this retrospectives, they were basically giving recognition to people that went above and beyond. That work late hours, because everything is a priority. Everything is emergency. Everything has to get done almost every couple of days. And so, like, I noticed this pattern for every retrospective. It's like the same 2 or 3 people. Of course, it's not me, right? And it seems like we saved the last maybe 10 minutes of the retrospective actually talking about what we would like to improve on, but like the first 50 minutes is not about that.
Yeah, it's shut
Right.
up and
Yeah. So we
pat
always
you
run
on the back type
we
stuff.
we always run out of time when it comes to what I think is the most important part of a retrospective is focusing on how you can continuously improve. So anyway, I was like, hey, I'm noticing the pattern that we in our retrospectives we continue to praise people that make sacrifices for the business at the expense of spending time with their family and other obligations that they have outside of work. And I I, I see this happening it seems like every single retrospective. And I'm not sure if that's something that we should really be proud of. Um, why aren't we examining why this pattern is happening in the first place of people performing heroic deeds, sprint after sprint after sprint? Instead of celebrating these people and what they do heroically, why don't we ask why is it necessary for them to be put under this pressure that they feel the need to do this in the first place? Surely this would reduce stress levels and be more helpful to their families and the obligations that they have outside of our business. They didn't like me when I said that. They didn't like it at all.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get fired.
that team player. You gotta be a team player. Yeah.
They didn't like it at all.
The thing too is I'd always have contrarian or outside the box ideas that don't maybe align with things that people think. But it's like when you come across problems and the same solutions are always given to them and the same solutions always suck. It's like nobody's giving new ideas, but as soon as you do, it's like nobody sees your vision or understands or even wants to try it. It's like if it's not something prescribed outside of your little box, most people are not really willing to give it a shot. For instance, why don't we? Okay, we're having trouble with PR.
Let me read off Gambler's stuff since he's the only viewer. Hold up. Nope, didn't play these kind of games. Communication is hard. That sounds like unhealthy pacing, architecture, organization approach. I'm not sure what that comments towards. And then he says, heroics are required every week, month, and then there are certainly systematic issues.
I think both of those last two comments are related to what you're experiencing.
Okay. What are you saying?
Well, gosh, I totally spaced on it. Oh, like so you give ideas like non-traditional ideas, and the example I use is like, okay, we have trouble with PRs not getting approved or whatever like that in time. Now they're aside from the idea of somebody being able to push something in that's not great, where you want to double check. It's like, well, why don't you just trust people to just merge and depend on the tests that are written and testing and that, which is going to be a lot more of an indicator of success than someone, briefly looking at it, being nit about the fact you misspelled something and then taking another 30 minutes to an hour trying to resolve that, get all your pipelines to run so that you can merge the damn thing again. Why don't you just skip all that and just not have pull requests anymore, or index on the fact that
they're going to say,
can let.
Their response is, "Oh, Sean, are you saying that we shouldn't code review?" That's always the response every single time, as if a pull request is the only way to code review.
Yeah, well, and I am saying that on certain things. Like, does a one line change need any more? Like, need that heavy process? Maybe. Now there's a security thing to it, which is the only valid answer to this. Like the rest is you can like hypothesize about, but the only real objection that has traction is that, okay, somebody can push in code that's bad actor type stuff.
Yeah, so there's a couple things that I just I have my own opinions on. If the software hasn't been released, like it's an MVP or something, it's not in production at all. Like we haven't delivered V1. I don't think code reviews are are as serious or as a high priority as if it's already in production.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Would you? Because it's unpopular.
No, that's exactly.
It's like you have time. Like the code review will happen eventually, but it doesn't. The world does not have to stop for this code to get in there. It doesn't, because it's not, in theory. I mean, I'm sure security folks can make an argument, but in theory, like, it's not affecting anybody because it's not out there.
Yeah, and even the security thing is a little bit weird because like if somebody were to put in some code that is
Your microphone's acting up.
What is? Oh, if someone was to put in malicious code into their pull request to get merged, they probably already have access to do a bunch of other malicious things, or know where the demons are that they can exploit. Like they have full information, so it's like, I think even if you were to randomly say, okay, let's make sure that we don't push any malicious code, it's like you could easily just they could still probably be malicious if they want to. So you kind of have to have a little bit of a trust level relationship.
Yeah, I mean, you hired these people. Like,
yeah. But I think you're right too, is like we need different standards for when we're dealing with unreleased code that we're trying to iterate on. And we know it's not going to be perfect the first time we go through because it's new. And let's get it in as fast as possible, get the feedback loop going, and then decide where we need to take it to the next step. But we want to use the same rigid process depending, whether it's production code or we're going to production right away, or if it's, part of a new greenfield type thing. It's just silly to me. But the other thing that often comes up would be like length of sprints, like or the way how much you plan for. Like I feel like the industry has gotten to the point where if you're not doing 2 weeks, they consider you wrong. And it's like, well, you can do 1 week sprints, you can do 3 week sprints, you can do whatever your team wants to do. And it doesn't even have to be the same length every time. You could choose like, okay, let's plan out 3 weeks of work now, if that's important, or this is going to take 3 weeks. So why are we replanning in 2 weeks?
Yeah, because Mango and Fang tells them to. It's monkey see, monkey do. Like, majority of humans are no different from sheep. They just follow.
Yeah. So if you, I think what I was getting at is if you try to suggest something that's not that, you get, not only do you get pushback, but then you get kind of
ostracized
as a flaked or you're not a team player or these kinds of things.
All right, so here I'm going to get you to disagree with me on one of my views. This one surely you're going to disagree with because everybody does. Scrum masters at tech companies need to be technical.
I think Scrum Masters don't need to exist. Actually, I haven't had a Scrum Master in 2 years now, or actually 4 years. I don't think I had one at my last job either.
Is it fair to say that your organization is performing higher than average?
I don't know. I think so. Like we deliver, but
are you guys putting out fires? Do you guys have a fire every single day?
No, not really.
Do you have one?
No, Scrum Masters wouldn't have affected that in any capacity, anyways. Like, what are they going to do? It's like
no. Let's take what you just said. So usually, my understanding is that when there's unplanned events / fires that need to be accounted for, the response is often adding more process.
Yeah, usually. Yeah.
Hence, adding more middle management or adding scrum masters to provide more status and in theory have a higher level understanding of all the activities at play. I was watching one YouTube video. It was a young Asian dude. It's always the young Asian dudes that are like smart. But he was saying that I think he was saying he was working at Facebook, and he was saying, I hope I'm not butchering this, that at Facebook, they don't have like Scrum Masters, and he made the comment that Scrum Masters are really for low performing teams that 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 basically need like supervision. And I thought that was interesting, and I kind of agree.
Yeah, I agree too. You don't need a scrum master 9 times out of 10. Or any really. It's pointless. It was a position that lubricated the wheels for us to get project management.
I think it was a position.
Management.
I think it was a position to get more people that aren't part of the main demographic into tech.
Oh, yeah, that could be an angle. I never really thought of that. But yeah, I don't like I don't like I said I haven't dealt with a scrum master. There's people who kind of fulfill the role. Like we had an engineering manager at my last job who would be, I guess, act as the scrum master in it. That wasn't their like primary job. And so they did a bunch of like random stuff. They were kind of partially like a delivery manager, partially the scrum master, partially an actual engineering manager. It was kind of a weird role that they had. I mean, they would work support and things, and yeah, I don't know. But yeah, we don't have them at the place I am now, and I don't miss them. So, did you lose your audio, or did I cut out?
Are you there?
Yeah. I don't know which one of us cut out there.
Hopefully, it doesn't happen again. Well, your face froze, and now it's back again.
Yeah.
The network's getting choppy. I hear your audio, but your video is like freezing occasionally.
Oh, let me. I don't know if it's you or me.
If I run a speed test, surely it's just going to make things worse, right?
Probably, but I mean, it could be me too. So I don't know. I could try rejoining.
I think we're okay now.
All right.
So did you make the decision that I'm going to go down the AI for film and not hardware, hence camera?
For now, it's just like I was thinking about this too. Like, it's actually really cool to prototype an entire thing with AI. Like this idea that this show that I'm making, like, gosh, it would be really cool to actually record, like, have actors that play these people, expand the idea of it, have more interactions and better, more writing around it, do real editing from that, do set design, all that stuff. That's all like, I would never be able to do all of that stuff and deliver something without a huge investment.
Yeah, it'd be like a $50,000 production.
Yeah, but I can easily pump out this stuff, and not only can you pump it out, but then like if you wanted to, you could go back and literally. And I just try to do this actually, but YouTube, you can't replace a video, which I hate. I want to be able to like replace a video. I understand why they don't do it, but I guess I could still do it, but you lose your view counts. But anyways, but you could go back and replace a video and think about, well, what if I had done this differently and just recut the entire scene in an afternoon, and you just go with it. So I've thought about doing, what if I actually did something where I made a YouTube channel, and I did all the episodes, and then I just duplicated it and remade the entire thing after I've learned more stuff. Like if you end up going watch it, the first like 3 or 4 episodes, you can tell like the last 2 or 3 I've done are significantly better on the editing front. They still need work, but I feel like you get better and better at knowing, well, what is good? How do you direct the AI to do things that you want? How do you cut that and paste it together so that it feels more seamless in your deal? So I'll do a lot of B-roll shots or cuts where I'll have, somebody will say something and it cuts to the other person doing something. But that fills like gaps in editing and kind of gives context and makes it feel less flat. I don't know. It's like I'm improving more and more, and it'd be fun to go back.
So here's a question.
Yeah.
Which I think, it may not be a big issue, especially with the baby steps that you're taking, right? Is with AI, I don't think you have granular control. Would that be fair?
You do to a certain extent.
So here's an example. I was listening to I'm not sure if choreography is the right term, of how they filmed, it was 1983, Scarface, right? They filmed some of those scenes 15 minutes down the street from me. And so they were discussing the camera angles that they used and why they used it based on the user experience of someone watching the movie, right? So close up, things get tense, things that are darkly lit and faint, right? Becomes this, we immediately think about security or vulnerability, really, depending on what's being shown. And the reason why I'm mentioning all this is I don't think with generating AI content, you can specify, tell me I'm wrong, but you have granular control over the camera angles that are used, close up versus far away, panning, the different types of shoots with the camera.
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
At least in VO3.1, like I don't know about Sora, and I don't know about some other ones, but in VO3.1, you can like part of what you're doing is feeding it what the camera is doing. Like if you don't specify what the camera is doing, a lot of times it'll just fill in what that is. And the thing is you have to get okay with wasting credit and trying things over and over again sometimes too, because like there's stuff I've learned with prompting where I'll be like, okay, she's speaking to people around the table. Now I assume that it'll interpret it as somebody is sitting with the camera pointed at them, and she's doing like I'm doing right here. Imagine I'm at a table, a round table, and I'm like, okay, all right, Scott, how about you do blah blah blah. Well, if I say like she's speaking to someone around the table, they might actually inject that person into it. So I have to say like specifically, she's speaking to someone off camera who is silently listening, and who is positioned to her left or something like that. But if I tell it to like zoom in on his face or do a close up as the shot progresses, I have clips like that. You can tell it to pan or to tilt or to back up or follow or all of that kind of stuff. Like I think my extra that I did, I want to say that one I told it to follow the people. Anyways, so it's like they bust through a door and you have a person with a camera walking backwards. So that's can't remember, it's a track shot, right? And you can have smooth or you can have fast. If you get the selfie stick ones, which a lot of stuff does, because AI is really good at interview style or like direct camera on a person talking. It's really not that great for two people in a scene doing something together. It gets really, it's a lot harder to work on stuff. But sorry, that was
You just reminded me of something.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I think I told you this. That the probability of me doing it is like 5%. It's not zero, but it's like 5%, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a 95% chance I'm not going to do it. But I was considering creating a documentary prior to. I'll just get it out there, and then you could say, "Oh, you're wrong," right? I was considering creating a documentary on a handful of software developers across different areas prior to the AI bubble bursting, and I wanted to capture the lifestyle and the adjustments that they're making based on the tech market employment status or state, what it is, as well as all this AI hype, and I think what most people think is this AI bubble. So if I do it, I was considering traveling to Vancouver, filming Odie, traveling to Minnesota, filming you. Of course, all this will require permission, right?
You fly to Switzerland and interview Gamler.
Traveling to who's the other person? So ODU. Who else do I mention?
Oh, you told me it was.
There's a dude named Robert that lives down the street from me. He's a mobile developer.
Yeah.
He's very private. He probably won't let me do it. And then, do I not have anybody on the East Coast? Anyway, a handful of developers. Yeah, well, I was talking about like DC, New York, or something like that. Oh yeah. And one of my mentors, he stays out in Seattle. I'm sure he'll let me film him. He's older. Yeah, so like I wanted to like create a short. I don't know if it's short, but I wanted to. I was considering a documentary before this bubble burst and film it, and then once the bubble bursts, go back and film again to how people adjusted or responded. Obviously, this would be a long-term project. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, if your heart's in it, do it. If it's not, don't. I would say it's not a hell yeah. It's a well, no. But
well, the thing is why would people watch? What would be the three acts? What would be the tension? What would be the conflict?
Yeah, and I couldn't answer that. I mean, documentaries are supposed. I guess they tell a story, and they're supposed to have that kind of element. So, I don't know, but I'm also burned out on AI. I don't want to hear.
A prime example is I'm trying to transition into a new career, right? So like surely there's other people. It may not be like camera production, but I'm sure there's people just like me that are dipping their feet in other industries. So
yeah, well, I mean, like I said, I mean, you've done. Did you finish your trailer?
No. I made a lot of progress.
Yeah,
it's a learning curve, and I'm trying really hard not to cheat. So on the course, in the videos, you can view like their solution, but they strongly encourage you to do your solution first, and then look at how they did it.
Yeah, because you don't want to be influenced. You want to,
yeah,
kind of raw nature.
So for the trailer, make long story short, for the first maybe 15 seconds, I have audio and video. And then I started getting stuck. So then I just started focusing on the audio only. And I'm like halfway done with the audio. You want to listen to it?
Sure.
Let me see. Where am I at? Disclaimer, I'm a beginner, right? So what I think is cool, I've learned over and over in life. Majority of people don't think so. So.
No, I mean, like I understand that feeling. Like I am very proud of the extra that I made for my show, and I, you know, like nobody will probably understand how cool I thought that was when I built it. And the first time I did an after credit scene. So like I did this scene where I had this scene and this guy who dresses up like a rat or is this rat character. He's supposed to be kind of a bumbling idiot guy, even though he's the strongest guy in the game. And in one scene, they're talking about Egg, who's this other character, and it's an interview style with him. And so he goes, you know, you're hearing him respond, and he goes, "I like eggs and cheese," and then like he just totally misses the question, like because the guy's name is Egg.
Yeah, I get it.
And then at after the credits run, he like there's this short B-roll of him just being like, "What was the question again?" and I first, when I put that together, I was like, "This is the coolest thing I've ever done in my entire life. Like, this is so cool that I have this little like post-credit blurb joke." And then I had to refrain from trying to do it with every single one. So unless there's like a very specific point I want to make about someone, I've got to not put them in because he overused them or whatever. And so I've gotten like, I think like I will never do 2 in a row. But I added one in this last one that I did, and then another one 2 videos ago and stuff. But I think it's cool. And I know, like, to me, that was a epiphany moment. But anyways, let's listen to your
yeah. So you might get echo, so you may need to mute your headset or something based on the last discussion we had.
Mm-hmm.
But it says I'm sharing. So first I'll play it with just the audio, and then after that I'll play like the audio and the video, but the video is only like for the first 15-20 seconds. So it's you see my screen?
Yeah.
Actually, I don't even know how to even how do I go to just this right here?
They told me the best way to do my part wasn't with a weapon, but with my farming hands.
For many years, a lot of us have been interested in considering the possibilities of meeting other life forms, other intelligent beings.
Music licensing reimagined.
Inside, Edward, now.
Go on, kid!
I must remind you that making a prank call to 911 is a felony.
What do I have to do for you to take me seriously?
The sheriff is on his way. It's important that you stay by the house until he arrives.
Yeah, so that's the audio part. Obviously, there's things even I pick up that I could probably improve on and probably add additional hits to it. But I mean, I kind of like it so far. I do. Let me see. You have any feedback?
It's hard to. Oh, God.
Oh, you need me to turn off my hold on.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, no, it's hard to it's hard to envision what the film is, but I mean, it sounds really good.
I can show you now. I can show you.
Yeah.
But again, I only have like the first like 15 seconds, and everything else is no video. It's just audio.
Mhm.
So you might want to mute your mic again, but
Yeah, as long as I don't talk, it's okay.
They told me
something's not right. Hold up. Okay, yeah. So then, how do I workspace, viewer mode, cinema viewer?
they told me the best way to do my part wasn't with a weapon, but with my farming hands.
For many years,
Artlist
a lot of us
IO.
have been interested in considering the possibilities of meeting
Yeah,
other life forms, other intelligent.
Yeah, I thought I had a video in there, but I must have deleted it. Oh shoot! Hold up. How do I do this again? Control F. Okay. Yeah, a lot of video parts got cut out, so there's really not that much video. I had a lot more in there, but it looks like I inadvertently removed it. So
How are you syncing? Oh god.
yeah. Hold up. How do I do this? Okay.
How are you syncing the audio with the video then when there is speaking parts, or do you bring in those clips later?
Yeah. So the short answer. All right. I'm sorry. It's not a short answer. All right. So the video says to watch the entire movie, and then basically create a clip, create like an audio clip, or even create a video clip that includes audio for each of the dialogue segments, like down near all of it. So you literally have a file for each dialogue piece.
Yeah.
That dialogue piece could be 5 seconds. It could be 10 seconds. Create a file for each one of them.
Yeah.
And so then the file name is going to be the actor prefix. So like dispatcher, father, son, and dash or colon, and then the phrase that they say. That's the name of the file.
Well,
then you could do a search on son in the dialogue that the son has. You could do a search on the father in the dialogue that the father has. Right? What's that?
I said, speaking of which, the sun just blasted.
Oh, yeah. And so I'm still trying to answer your question. So that's the dialogue stuff. So they strongly encourage you to do the audio first, because they said the audio is more important than the video. If the audio is not right, people don't want to watch the video, right? The video can be satisfactory, but with good audio, they can still sit through it. So with that said, you lay down the audio, you lay down like the hits, the background music, the risers that you heard, and then some dialogues, right? And they said do that first. And then they said the second phase is to add in the video. Now, the question about how do you sync your audio with video is if you really do want to match dialogue with the actual clip or scene of a movie, then you would one is you still have the video clip that has the audio if you just want to swap it out.
Yeah, I suppose you could put the audio in and swap in the thing. Yeah.
Or another option would be to just take a video clip minus the audio, and then, well, you can take the video clip that has the audio on it, and then just with the tools, you can zoom in on the audio files, the waveform, and you could overlay the video that has the audio with the original audio track that didn't have video, and then you could delete the. That might be overkill. I don't know.
Yeah, I suppose it's just aligning the waves to the frames, and it's really not.
Yeah.
That's what they always used to do those like snap things for, was to set a point where they could align the audio and the video.
Yeah, they have those tools. So it's just tedious for someone that doesn't know what they're doing, and trying really hard not to look at the solution that the author of the course provides. So like that music that I had, you heard the license watermark on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I took that from artlist.io. I like that song, right? And you didn't look at that 17-minute film, did you?
No, I didn't. I watched some of the previews actually for it, or like the trailers people have made.
It's really good. And so that music is there for a purpose, because without disclosing any of the details, the father is a nationalist, and a UFO crash lands on his farm. So you take that combination, and this is going on during the Cold War era. Hence the radio dialogue that you heard.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good film, and it's only 17 minutes.
Yeah, you should use your film editing thing and try some stuff with AI videos.
Once. So the short answer is I plan on going full throttle. I understand that building like trailers. This course is specifically building trailers.
Yeah.
So it's not building like regular scheduled television programming like episodes. So that's a separate course. The two courses I bought was building trailers and mixing music or doing sound engineering.
Mm-hmm.
Once I knock off those two, I think I'll be in a good position to do post-production right before I put it on YouTube or whatever. But yeah, I'm enjoying the process, but it also it's kind of overwhelming, all the stuff I have to learn. I'm grateful that I'm a software engineer and I understand IDEs and the workflow. Else I would be really, really lost. So
yeah. I mean, if I was using DaVinci Resolve, I think I would have never got anywhere. OpenShot, which is what I am using, is considerably dumbed down. Like, it's got some basic effects and you can do things with it, and you can do layers, which is great. So you can do like 80% of what needs to get done, which is all I need. But I thought about stuff like there's certain AI clips that the lighting is really messed up, where boy, it'd be cool if I could normalize the lighting. I don't know, does DaVinci have the ability to edit audio in terms of like if you have a bunch of clips that have just different tone sounds to them and you want to isolate?
Yeah, it does
stuff. Because that's something that I struggle with too. Because like sometimes their dialogue will sound like hollow, like they're in a hollow room, and sometimes it won't.
Yeah, they have
really
tools. They have an equalizer. They have tools where you can direct the sound into a what's it called? Spatial audio. Yeah. They have tools where you can increase resonance, or attempt to reduce it. I'm not sure about the latter part of reducing it. They have a lot of audio. DaVinci Resolve is like 5 separate applications bundled together onto one platform. Each page is its own application that's integrated with the platform. Gotcha. So the context, like your playhead, all that stuff, all those details carry over on each page that you click on. So when you want to do coloring, you're coming from like the audio tab. Now you're on the coloring tab. It keeps track of the scene and the audio on each of the tabs or each of the applications that are bundled together.
Yeah. I bet you if you worked with OpenShot at all, you'd be like, wow, this is so primitive compared to it is quite primitive compared to it. It does pretty decent using. So, but it would be nice if I could figure out how to the video and audio a little bit to make it better. But it sounds really good on phones. It just sucks on headphones. So yeah.
So like next Friday, I'm going to connect my studio mic. This is the mount thingy.
Okay.
So I'm gonna connect that. So hopefully I can test that out when I talk to you Friday. I'm going to
Get your MacBook going.
Nah. Well, I sincerely thought about like maybe I should open up my MacBook this weekend because that malware security thingy it took up all my disk space and I couldn't do anything on my machine. I had to reboot, and then after I rebooted, I still had to wait 5 minutes just for me to like get on the browser and then bring you into the studio.
When you messaged me, you said it was in
malaria.
Malaria. I'm like, what the hell? Where did he go? that was hilarious. But
yeah,
all right.
So I'll set up my studio mic. It's 50% chance that I'll have my first studio light. Right. So I said studio microphone I'll set up, but it's a 50% probability that I'll have a studio light in here. I'm trying to progress, dude. And I guess I just need to start trying things out. And I think I'm at least going to start domain modeling that mobile app. I don't want to build the app, but I think I need it if I ever want to do like commercial work.
Yeah, I mean, I would look at, like I said, there's solutions out there. I would look at some of them. Maybe they're not tailored to exactly to what you're doing, but there's procedure software that gives you stuff like that with the ability to give more details and branch like that. Yeah, it's doable, but I suppose it's well past our time here. So
yeah, let me read off Gambler's stuff since he's my only viewer every single week. We don't do sprints anymore. It's more. It continues working. There are more planned releases that give priority on items worked on. He also said, okay, I'm off. Happy Friday and weekend. All right, Gambler. It's been real. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I guess I should log on now. Hey, thanks. I think this was pretty productive. Good stuff. See you.
Yeah, cool. Have a good one. Bye.
All right. Bye.